Welcome to the Frisco Podcast. I'm your host, Scott Ellis, and today I am so excited. Joe Yannessa's in the house.
Hey, Scott, how you doing, buddy?
Good, Joe. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me down here.
Man, it's awesome. Thanks
It's a beautiful place.
It's cool, isn't it? It's a nice
I
studio.
love it.
Yeah, thanks for
Love
making
it.
the trek.
Oh, that's no big deal.
Yeah. Now, if we could just transport back and forth and skip the toll road, that would be even better.
Well, I was on my way out to TDI anyway to pick up something. So,
Okay.
yeah, this worked out fine.
What's
Worked out
TDI?
fine. TD Industries is a big fleet company for us. And so we are manning about 375 of their trucks over at the Frisco shop.
Wow.
So we're servicing their vehicles.
Gotcha.
And it's a big thing. It's
Okay.
huge.
Well, that's awesome then.
So-
Let's before we get too deep into all of that, let's make sure that everybody who's listening knows who you are. Joe is the founder and owner, operator, sometimes probably mechanic at Solutions Automotive.
Yes, sir.
And you guys are an independent shop, right?
Yes, sir, we sure are. I've been a technician for 31 years. I went to college, and then we got out of college and went to technical school and started being a tech. And about 13 and a half years ago, I had somebody say something that I should go out on my own. And at the time, it was a good fit. I was just kind of sick and tired of the big box companies taking advantage of the customers that we had coming in, and it would be a situation where they would not come back again. And so I was like, we could do something different and do something better. So I decided to go ahead and start Solutions Automotive. And we've been in business in McKinney for 13 years.
Okay.
You'd be amazed. I started out of my garage.
You were just doing work in
Literally
your garage.
out of my garage, and I just happened to be the vice president of a homeowners association. So I really wasn't. I was flying under the wire, and one day I walked out and I was like, you know what? This is getting a little bit too big. Because I would just work in my garage. I'd close my garage door and nobody ever knew.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, this is when cars were lined up around my house. I was like, yeah, time to move on. So
somebody might pick up on this.
Yeah, so we moved to McKinney and got a shop there, and we've been in McKinney for 13 years, and now we just opened a shop in downtown Frisco over off of 2nd Street in Walnut, and we've been there for almost a year.
Yeah.
We're coming in close on the year.
So as a good reference point for people, you guys are just almost due north of the Frisco Rail Yard.
We are northeast of the Frisco Rail Yard, where the food trucks are and things like that. If you're at the Frisco Rail Yard and you look due northeast, you cannot miss our shop. It's on a hill, and the sign is bigger than life.
Big and beautiful. How long has that shop been open?
We opened it in June.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're coming up on a 1 year anniversary.
Almost
in Frisco.
1 year anniversary in Frisco.
Congrats.
And I'm excited to be in Frisco.
Yeah.
Serious. Hopefully nobody takes that wrong. I mean, we would love being in McKinney, but we definitely wanted to open a second shop. We had lost a lot of customers. Usually we're about, free pickup and delivery. We'll do whatever we have to do to get a customer's car to help them out. So I've driven all the way out to Flower Mound before, or down to downtown Dallas to pick up customers' cars. And we had some people starting to drop off, and we hadn't seen them in a while. So I was like, what's going on? And they're like, well, and as soon as we hit Frisco, I was about a 2 or 3 week kind of just, crawling. Holy heck, it's running.
Then it jumped back up.
It jumped into run.
Did you find out why people were dropping off?
I think it was more of the fact that people are just so busy now. And they're just about location. So we noticed that as soon as we got over to Frisco, some of the people that were no longer making the trek over to McKinney found us and were like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for moving here. Thank you for getting a shop started here. Let's go ahead. We're going to start using you again. So
is there anything you guys don't do?
No, there's not. I've tried to make Solutions Automotive a specific, so where you don't have to go to a place. A lot of mom and pop places won't do specific things. We try to do everything. So if it's a scenario where you're coming in and you need an oil change and some brakes, and you just happen to have a cracked windshield, we have somebody that'll come and replace the windshield. If it's something that you come in and you need like a panel popped on the side or something like that, or some paint fix, we have somebody to do it. If you have some a wrecked rim, we've had people drive off and hit a curb and wreck up a rim, then we can do that as well. We've got a company that we can send out, get it repaired. We try to be a one-stop shop.
Yep.
So many people nowadays are like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to go here, have to go here, have to go there. And we just don't want it to be like that. Your wife had that day that we sat down and talked, when she asked that question, I've used that numerous times already, when she said, what do I do if I'm at a dealership and they're selling me this? Do I go get a second opinion? And so that's what we want to try to do. We want to be your second opinion. We don't want you to feel like you have to spend an exuberant amount of money. We're not cheap, but we're not, expensive. We charge a fair price. And so we try to make sure we give a whole lot more extra than the dealership would. Like free pickup and delivery. We try to make sure that if you're stuck somewhere, we'll do whatever we need to. If you call in the middle of the night and, hey, Joe, I need you, I'm there.
That's good to know.
Sorry,
because I'm the guy that's always running on fumes. In fact, I need to gas up when we leave here. So
you're a B.
I've got your number in my
guy.
phone. Yeah,
you're a B guy.
Yes,
so I stuck that out the other day.
I saw that. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, Joe put up a post on social media, and I think the A person was in a quarter of a tank. You're like, holy crap, I got to get to a gas station.
Yes.
And the B guy, which would be me, is that no worries, I got this. And it's
it's funny you didn't chime in on that.
I was going to, and I think I got distracted because that's Facebook. But going back to Solutions Automotive, I got to tell you, one of the things I love about your business is that there's so much opportunity for businesses like yours, and I don't necessarily mean just automotive industry, but where the big box shops, the things that people are used to in terms of when they need some kind of a service, have gotten so big, and the service has gotten so unpersonal, throughout just kind of everything, that there's this opportunity for businesses to come in, for people who are doing something that they really love to do, and to provide a much higher level of service, and I think to really thrive. And those are a lot of the kinds of businesses that we want to focus in and talk about in Frisco, and I think yours is one of them. I think what I had Dr. K on earlier from Plush Dentistry. They're very focused on that from a dental standpoint. Another buddy of ours that's been on the podcast recently, Raj, has Renew RX and is a pharmacist. He was a part of the big box expansion of a big retailer in the pharmaceutical, not pharmaceutical, but the pharmacy space.
Yes,
and decided, you know what, this is too far away from really taking care of the patients. It's just too much about the numbers and the turn and the burn. So I'm going to go start my own place. I mean, and your story is not unlike that. You're really providing the service that I think a lot of people would value and want. And
that's what we want to do. We don't want you to be a number when you walk in. We want it to be, hey, Mr. Smith, hey, Scott, hey, shake a hand, stand up, do things of that nature, not just, humdrum stuff. We don't want it to be like that. We want it to be fresh. We really do. And so I think that's one of the biggest things I've found in our niche is just to be different and to take care of the customer, not as just a customer, but almost as family.
Yeah.
And just bring them something better to the table that's going to make them feel like you're taking care specifically of them and nobody else.
Well, yeah, and there's a great story. You may remember our salesperson, Cindy, had a bird get stuck in the grill of her car. Was it you that got it out?
No, I was not. It was not me.
Okay.
I happened to be out of town.
Okay.
And they're like, what do? We have a lady here with a bird stuck in her grill. I'm like, you are kidding me. Is it dead? They're like, no, it's really alive. And I have the picture still.
Yeah.
It's out there. I put it out. I was like,
but your guys stopped what they were doing.
Yes.
And they came out and they helped her get this bird out of her grill. And just for everyone's edification, the bird lived.
Yes. He flew off.
Yep. And it was fine.
It was a pigeon.
But I mean, that's just the kind of thing that you can get at Solutions Automotive.
Yeah. I mean, we're trying to take care of everything. Bird removers, rat removers, we try to do everything.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever seen?
Wow. The weirdest thing I've ever seen. Geez Louise. That's a good question. There's a lot. I want to say the amount of probably of rat damage that we've seen. I've seen a lot of rat damage.
Really?
Yes. I mean, a ton of rat damage.
What kind of things do the rats hone in on?
They're just typically going to eat the wiring harnesses, things of that nature. That's just a constant awe, totally in awe of it. Trying to think of another one. Like we had a couple of members of the Frisco Chamber came in, and they had a rat that had dropped onto the cabin air filter and was stuck on there, but died.
Oh.
Yes. Oh. So it smelled like pure death in there. And then Kevin Hodis with the, Swipe It. He had his wife had a rat die over in the corner. I think the hardest one that we've ever had to try to find out of all of them, that was kind of the biggest thing that'll stick in my mind, is the fact that we had one come in on a Lexus and we couldn't find it. And it got to the point where we had to dismantle the Lexus, and the rat had fallen down into a body panel just adjacent forward of the front driver's door, but it was in the fender. So it fell down inside there. We couldn't get it out, so we had to end up cutting some of the metal out to extract the rat out of there. But that's probably the one that's going to sit in my mind for the longest period of time.
Yeah, I don't think you'd forget that anytime soon.
No. But we see all kinds of crazy things.
I'm sure you do.
We do. We've had people come in with things that have fallen off their car, and it's like, holy cow, I can't believe that fell off your car. But I think that's the biggest story. Just the things that we see in that manner of destruction.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so let me ask you this. The automotive, and you and I have talked about this a little bit in the past, but the automotive industry, and especially even independent shops and dealerships, I think have deservedly or otherwise earned somewhat of a reputation for people being taken advantage of, right? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of that's happened in the past. How do you, because we know you're on the up and up, you are wanting to take care of people, you are going out of your way to do so, but how do you combat that so that, because you've got to overcome that to some degree for your business to succeed? Yes.
And when I started, I think it was the biggest thing how to combat it. Always being honest, and we've failed. There's some things out there that we failed, but we haven't failed in an epic proportion to where it's constantly being notated out in the industry.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, 13 years, and we've probably had a handful, maybe 12 total things where it was not something really bad, but maybe we caught a customer on a bad day, or we just didn't fulfill their need, and they put something out there about us. But I always try to circumvent that by going back and saying, you know what, Mr. Smith, look, I remember we explained this to you this way. Maybe it wasn't something that you understood, maybe this, maybe that. We try to make sure that we communicate to our customers. We try to make sure that we explain to them. We give them options. That way they're making a decision in tune with us versus us making the decision for them and telling them exactly what they need. So we'll say, Mr. Smith, here's the situation. Here's your problem number one, and here's what you need to do to fix it. What would you like to do? And then they'll ask questions, and we kind of work together. We let them go ahead and work that idea with us. And that way we make the choice together. That way I found that you don't have buyer's remorse. Mm-hmm. Because I think that was one of the biggest things I remember when I was working at the big box companies. People got buyer's remorse because they were being handed a $2,000 job every single time they came in, and people are like, what the heck? And then they leave and they're mad and they won't come back. And that and retention. We send a lot of things out to our customers to constantly keep into their world. And we just switched it up. We were doing postcards and emails. We just switched it to text messaging. That's, I think, is a little more easier. I think people are going to like this a little bit more. And I think it's going to be more helpful because the postcards maybe you didn't get, or you threw it in the mail, you threw it in the trash and you didn't think about it. The emails people still like to get. And I've tried to do it towards age. We have older people that do check their emails and that they don't do, texting.
Right.
We have the in-between age that do email and texting. Then we have the newer people ramping up that are more of a texting type of group. So we try to stay on top of it that way as well. So I think in the grand scheme of things of keeping and monitoring and taking care of our customers, treating them as family, making sure we're staying in front of them at all cost.
Yeah, and that's a great way to do it. You guys are taking great advantage of technology. You're fun to follow on social, as we've already talked about. So, in fact, I'm just going to, right now, where can people go find you guys on social? What's the best place to follow?
Well, you can always go to our website. We've got a great website, www.solutionsautomotive.com, or you can go out on Facebook. We've got 2 Facebooks, one for Frisco, one for McKinney, so it's Solutions Automotive. You can go to Twitter, Solutions Automotive on Twitter, Instagram, we're on Instagram. So, or you can follow me, Joe Yannessa, and you can find us that way. And, we can definitely get you some help.
Yeah, go hit them up on Facebook and find out, are you an A or a B?
Exactly, A or a B.
Yeah, I need to become an A. I need to be better about that.
You can't change that.
It's hard.
It is.
Yeah.
But if you're already that person, it's not going to change. It's just not. It's bred into you somehow.
Yeah. So do you have any particular favorite car to work on or anything like that?
You
personally, like what is like
me
if this rolls in,
personally,
you're like, oh yeah, I'm grabbing the wrench. I'm going.
I really like working on every car. I really do. It's to me, it's more of a challenge to try to learn more all the time. And if it's a situation where it's something that's super hard, trying to figure that out. There's not one thing I specifically like to work on. It's just pretty much everything.
Okay.
And that's the other thing at our shop. We work on everything. A lot of people, you don't work on Audis. Yeah, we do. We work on Porsche, Mercedes. We work on all the German, all the European, all the Asian, all the Americans. There's nothing we won't work on.
Can you do the oil change on my Ferrari?
Yes.
Okay. Well, as soon as I have a Ferrari, I'll let you know.
Yeah. I mean, the craziest one we've worked on is we have the oldest one we've worked on is a 1928
Wow.
Ford. The craziest one we've worked on is a gentleman who lives up north of McKinney, and he has a Rashawn race car.
I don't even know what that is.
Well, it's a Ford-based race car. It's a kit car, and it's full-blown. You get in it. I mean, it's got the race panels underneath it and everything like that. And so we've done work on his car as well.
Okay, that's good to know. And just kind of as an aside, I know you guys you're taking care of people's cars, the cars that we drive around every day. But if I'm the guy that wants to go get like the kit Shelby and put that together, can I call you guys up to get some help?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You do kind of some fun stuff like that.
We've done some old cars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny you say Shelby's because my father-in-law, he has a Cobra.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has a 64 Cobra. Yes.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I'd be happy with just one of the little kit guys, something with no top on it that I can put the hammer down a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, we like working on everything. We're definitely there to help. If it's something that we can never do, we definitely will guide you to a place that you can, get help.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, all right. So here's how we're going to go out. Tell me something you love about Frisco. Besides the people, besides, having your business there, is there a restaurant you love to go to? Is something in particular you love to do? Any one thing about Frisco that just really stands out to you?
I want to say so far, it's again people just like over in where the other shop is. But I love the fact that like myself, Greg, and I across the street over at Frisco Rail Yard, I've got a place to go. If there's like the day's been kind of like just, and you're just like, I just need to like blow off some steam. It's kind of like having, the Cheers bar. And you go over there and he's there and you can go and he knows, and it's like you walk in and he knows I have like 3 drinks and it's either the number 1, the number 2, or the number 3. And he'll say, okay, so what do you want today? The number 1? And I'm like, okay, I'll have the 1 or I'll have the 2. But it's something like that. Being able to go and hang out at a place, have a lot of people that, just to go and sit and chat. My family loves to go there. My daughters and my wife and I, we go over there and hang out all the time.
It's a cool space.
Yeah. So I like that. I like the Star Center, the Star area now. That's a cool place to go and hang out. Love doing that on a Sunday. We go and have brunch over there or something like that. So it's just there's a lot of things. I mean, there's a lot, and I think there's some things that I haven't even tapped into. I need to definitely get into the arts. And get down there and start walking that whole area where the arts are down there by the hall.
Yeah, the Hall Office Park.
Hall Office Park area.
Throughout that place. It's awesome.
I love the fact that our radio station's right there next to it, and I get to do a radio station right in the Elm, region of, high dollar art. I love that.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick before we head out, because you are on KVGI Radio.
Yes.
And you have a show called Dirty Muffler Talk. I love
Muffler
that.
Talk with Joey.
When is that on?
It's on Wednesday mornings at 10 o'clock, 10 to 11.
Okay, so if you guys have questions or you want to just know more about car stuff, it's kind of a random car show, but it's totally fun.
It is.
And
we try to be fun with it.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, the Dirty Muffler Talk, I never thought they would go for that. And all of a sudden, Mark was like, yeah, that's the best name ever in the history of the world.
I think so.
Like, geez, please. So,
all right. So,
and also we do Cars and Coffee every Saturday, the first Saturday of every month.
Okay.
We do Cars and Coffee. We have Dirty Muffler Talk out there.
Okay, so that's on location?
On location over at Classic BMW. And we do it once a month when they have Cars and Coffee. This is the first Saturday of every month.
Okay.
We'll be out there this Saturday. We're going to have Miss Texas out there. We're going to interview her. And we're going to be interviewing another company that does helps the special needs people do pageantry and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
So we're going to be out there. You need to come. I told you need to come out and check it out.
I will do my best. I'm going to be out of town this weekend, but
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah.
But next time
around.
Next time for
Cars
sure.
and Coffee at
Cars
Classic
and Coffee at
BMW.
Classic BMW.
All right, we'll keep our eyes on that.
All right, Scott.
Joe, thanks so much for coming out today.
Scott, I appreciate it so much. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate you and Wendy so much.
You bet. So everybody go out, check out solutionsautomotive.com, find them on social media. If you have any car questions, problems, anything at all, please go talk to these guys. They're going to take really good care of you. They're awesome guys. If Joe's there, be sure to say hi, but even if he's not, all the other guys are taking good care of you too. I've been in there. I know they're going to take awesome care of everybody. So with that said, thank you all for tuning in, and we will talk to you next time on the Frisco Podcast.
You're listening to RNCN, the digital destination for premium talk radio.